It began on a night that should have been ordinary. I'd just come home from work, tired but ready for the familiar calm of my house. Dinner was quiet, that kind of silence that hides something brewing underneath. My wife sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone, her attention somewhere else entirely. I tried to start a conversation, to connect the way we used to, but she barely looked up. Then, almost offhandedly, she said something that stopped me cold. I just don't feel turn on anymore. Her tone wasn't cruel or angry. It was flat, detached, like she was commenting on the weather. Her words landed harder than I expected. I froze, unsure whether to comfort her or question what she meant. Was this a passing phase or something far deeper? I'd always believed in what we had, that natural, effortless closeness. But suddenly, it felt like it was slipping right through my hands. Before I could respond, another voice cut through the stillness. Her sister, who had been visiting without warning, leaned against the doorway with a smirk that immediately set something uneasy in my chest. "Then let me," she said. The casualness of her tone didn't mask the weight behind the words. My heart skipped, not just from shock, but from the way she said it, as if it were planned, deliberate, almost predatory. I sat there motionless, caught between disbelief and a quiet, creeping realization of what was unfolding. My wife's eyes flicked toward her sister, quick, nervous, and the silent understanding between them hit harder than any argument could. It wasn't only my wife's confession that hurt. It was how this unexpected intrusion twisted it into something darker. The air thickened, the kind of heaviness that makes you aware the world you knew has just changed. I leaned back, trying to steady myself. Over the years, I'd learned that reacting fast and emotionally never leads to clarity. So I said nothing. The silence stayed, sharp and charged. Her sister's gaze lingered on me, her lips curling into that half-smile, daring me to react. My wife sat frozen beside her, her usual warmth replaced by an awkward, brittle stillness. I thought about what this moment truly meant, not just for tonight, but for everything we'd built, the memories, the trust, the promises whispered in confidence. And just like that, I could feel unraveling, not loudly, but quietly without resistance. Her sister's boldness made it worse. It wasn't just an offer, it was a test. A challenge to see how far I would bend before I broke. So I let the silence stretch, long enough for them to feel it pressing back on them. Because silence, I realized, is its own kind of weapon. It reflects everything. Their audacity, their discomfort, their guilt. My mind recorded every detail. The shift in my wife's posture. The flicker of amusement in her sister's eyes. The heavy, quiet pressing down on the room. When I finally spoke, my voice was calm, low, even deliberate. "If that's really how things are," I said, "then I guess I need to think about what that means for me." There was no anger in my tone, no drama, no threat, just honesty. And in that truth, I felt something return, control, a reminder that no one could push me into losing my dignity. The mood shifted instantly. Her sister's smirk faltered. My wife's eyes searched mine for anger, maybe fear, but there was none. I had chosen my ground carefully. Not confrontation, not pleading, just calm, unshakable self-respect. That's when I understood something I'd never really known before, the strength of composure. I stood, slowly, letting my presence fill the space. Neither of them moved. Neither spoke. I could see it in my wife's face, the realization that something fundamental had changed. That this wasn't a moment she could twist or talk her way out of. I wasn't the man she'd grown used to taking for granted. The steadiness in my voice, the clarity in my stance, it shifted the balance entirely. I walked toward the door. No shouting, no slammed doors, no chaos. Just quiet steps away from the noise, away from what had broken. And for the first time in a long while, away from the chaos itself. Outside, the night air hit my face, cool and clean. I breathed deeply. That's when it struck me. Life isn't about the storms other people drag you into. It's about how you walk through them, without losing who you are. That night, what could have been humiliation became clarity. What could have been betrayal turned into understanding. And by walking away, I found something far greater than revenge, freedom. A reminder that no one defines your worth. No one decides how much respect you give yourself. Sometimes the most powerful reaction is the one they never see coming. Silence, control, and unwavering self-respect. That night, for the first time in years, I remembered exactly who I was.